Hey everybody, welcome to 1,000 Mile Coffee. This is Jason.
I'm Matt.
As you see, David ain't with us today. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details, but he's having some health issues, and he's had to take some time off of work. So he ain't going to be with us for a while, so Matt's going to be standing in as a fill-in. David ain't going nowhere. He will be back.
You sure you're ready for this?
Ready for what?
Me.
I'm never ready for you, but right. You know. On today's episode, we're just going to kind of talk about life experiences. You know, Matt's been on the show before. He's kind of told us things he's done in the past with his previous driving career. You know.
The many trailers I've pulled.
And the many companies he's worked for.
Hey.
He's wanted to tell you offhand, what's the saying?
I'm only on number 4.
Thought you worked for more than that.
It's only number 4. Unless you want to count the moving company, which I don't. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Oh, well. It is what it is.
Let me ask you this. Now that I've got you in person, I think I asked you before in the past, but what's some of the most, like out of every load, everything you've pulled, what's your favorite thing that you've done that you wish you were still doing?
I wish I was still doing RGN and lowboy work.
Talking to Mike a little more.
Talking to Mike.
Yeah, otherwise I don't pick up right.
Oh, okay. No, I wish I was still doing RGN lowboy work. Did a lot of construction, a lot of farm, John Deere case, you know, that kind of thing. They were great companies to pull for, and I enjoy doing that. All the big, heavy, oversized stuff and wide, tall. I just miss it.
Well, you're just wide. You ain't tall.
Just because I'm shorter than you doesn't mean I'm not tall.
Sorry, not like I'm one to talk. I'm just as wide, so you know.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see here. I was going to ask. There was something I was going to ask you. What was it? My mind's had a brain fart and gone blank. Like that's real hard for me to do, but you know.
Plead the fifth.
All right. Let me ask you this: when you was, the hell's that supposed to mean? Go ahead. You got something to say.
We all know what it means. We all know what it means.
When you pull in your oversized,
right?
Me and a buddy of mine had a discussion about this a while back, and he explained it to me because he does oversized work. He had a load that was, I guess, technically oversized. It was overweight, but it wasn't over dimension, not over width, not over height. It was just heavy. Mm-hmm. So I asked him if he had to banner it.
Right.
And he said it depended on the state that he went through. Most of them, no. It just depended on the permits. And he explained it to me, but I don't really understand it because I've never done that kind of work.
Right.
Explain it to me and explain it to the good listeners here so maybe everybody will understand.
He's right. That's when you do oversized work, you've got to pretty much have a knowledge of every state that you're going to be going through and what their rules and regulations are. Some states do require banners and flags, even if it's just overweight.
Okay.
If it's over width, you know, of course, you've got to have flags.
Right.
To show the widest point of the load.
And all that'll be in your provision book, right?
It'll be in your provisions. Every state is supposed to provide provisions with the permit. A lot of them don't, but they should. They should be. And that way you've got updated provisions.
Well,
so just in case you come into a scale house, just an oversized load has to pull into every scale house that's open.
Right.
You know, and it's at the officer's discretion whether he wants to see your permits. But if he does, a lot of times he'll say, you know, let me see your provisions.
Well, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. On your provisions, you said that not every permit supplies them. Is there, like at a truck stop, can anybody go and buy a provision book?
No, because they're updated sometimes weekly, monthly. And, a lot of states will maintain a website, or there is a general website that has all the states listed with their different provisions.
Okay, so if say North Carolina doesn't give you a provision, you can go on their page and pull the provisions and print it off.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to get your opinion on this because me and him talked about it.
Right.
And on that particular load, I believe it was Illinois and Indiana, I think is the states he told me, they required that he flag the widest part of the load.
Right.
And he refused to do it because he wasn't over width. He was within normal dimensions. He was just overweight.
That goes down to the state's discretion, the officer's discretion. If that's what the officer says to do, I mean, he's a law enforcement officer.
Right.
If he tells you to do something,
he said that.
Do it, but
Yeah, he said he pulled in. I think it was Indiana, but
right.
it could have been Illinois. Yeah. That one DOT officer said, "Why isn't it flagged?" He said, "Because it's not over width; it's just overweight." He said, "I'm not, I'm just fat. It's over."
Was it? But then again, was it on his permit to have it, or do you know?
It was not on the permit, but it was on the provision sheet. Okay. Is what he told me. Okay. And he said after a debate with the officer, I don't know, I don't remember everything he told me, but I know after the debate with the officer, he went on down the road without flagging it, because he said the provision sheet was just a general oversized provision sheet, not just for something that was overweight.
Got you. Well, something specific like that, it should have been on his permit and if it wasn't, I kind of got to side with the driver, because, if it's not on my permits, that's what I read through whenever I load that particular load. Always look through your permits, and if it's not on there, then why would you do it?
Well, and then I know he told me too, I do remember him saying this, that in his mind, he is legal width. Mm-hmm. But if he puts the flags on the widest part of that load, now he is over width, and his permit that classifies him as just being overweight is null and void.
I've heard both sides of that. A lot of people will tell you, yes, you're correct. If you put something on there, it's going to be wide after that. A lot of the old timers will tell you that securement and oversized banners and flags is not considered part of the load.
But see,
it's an indication of the load.
Okay, but see, to me, that right there also goes into a very gray area, as it's going to be up to the discretion. So if you get that one a-hole DOT officer who goes, "Oh no, now your permit, because of this reason, your permit's null and void. Here's fines, here's this. Now you're parked until you get new permits." I agree with what you're saying. I do think that it is more of a part of the load, but it still, that's one thing I've been telling a lot of people. It's in the trucking industry, there is very little black and white. There's so much gray area, so much left up to you can read the FMCSR, and it's the way I take it, the way you take it, the way our boss takes it, the way an officer takes it.
Everything's open to interpretation,
and it sucks. I hate that. Give me black and white on what you say I can do versus what you say I can't do.
I agree with you. I can agree with you on that.
But hey, at the end of the day, he didn't get no damn ticket. He went on down the road.
Right. Well, that's the good thing.
Oh Lordy! All right. Well, we're gonna cut this episode right here on the little bit of oversized. That gives you a little hearsay. Appreciate y'all joining us today. We'll catch you next time.